Look who's back. Welcome back to My Perspective. It has been a hot minute since I've been here. We're in a new setup. If you're watching on YouTube, I moved into a new apartment. I swear I move every single year, multiple times a year. Hopefully this is the last one for a long time. I'm very stoked to be back. I've been putting this off per usual. You guys should totally follow me on all the other social platforms because I have been grinding at literally everything else. I've actually gone viral on TikTok for personal finances. That's what we're going to talk about today because it seems like everyone is obsessed with women in finance. And guess what? I am too. I guess like some quick updates. Max and I are moving into this apartment. He comes in a week and a half. I've always posted on Substack for this podcast, but now I post twice a week if you guys are interested in personal finance or health and wellness. So like pretty much everything we talk about on this podcast, I now write on a blog, which is really cool. I've been doing a lot more YouTube vlogs. I thought the perfect series for coming back to the podcast is all about personal finances. We're not getting rich overnight, which I wish I would. I was literally brainstorming my two dream passions and like how I can make that a job and like how can I move the needle. Everything I'm doing now is just consistently, I've been doing this for a while now and I'm not seeing the needle moving. It is, I just have to be patient with myself and not compare my growth with other people's in the same industry. This series is about building habits that will actually be beneficial for you in the real world. Why does money feel scary in the first place? Two stigmas about money. One, that it's shameful or scary, or one that you just don't talk about it. I don't really remember either of those being spoken in my family. Like, they never told us not to talk about money. I do remember not having a lot of money. I don't even remember what age. Definitely as young as middle school or elementary school. Okay, there's a significant memory of going to a gymnastics competition in Hawaii with my aunt. She was like, oh, pick out whatever you want, like a shirt or a grip bag. I didn't know what to pick because I've never really had that opportunity. Like, it was really rare that my parents would buy me a new leotard or get me a state champion sweatshirt. When I had those moments, I would get a little overwhelmed because I wanted to really pick the right thing, savor this moment because I knew I couldn't take it for granted, which is probably good. I was being super intentional. I guess I was conscious of, oh, this isn't normal, so let's make the most of it. I also was a kid from a lower middle class family in a private school setting, which is a whole nother story on its own. I saw wealth at a pretty young age and I didn't fully comprehend. It was more of wearing brand names, having iPhones before everybody else, or when we got to high school, everybody getting brand new cars on their 16th birthday. Even at the time when I turned 16, I was at a public school. It was in a super nice area. So I was seeing Mercedes, Porsche, brand new Tacoma trucks. I was definitely one of the outsiders, or like not, I wasn't the norm. Obviously it was a public school. There's so many different ranges of wealth, my friend group specifically. And I feel like you always just look at what you're not like. So I wasn't really looking for the cars that were hand-me-downs or used or whatever. I was super into brand names. I thought I was so cool if I was wearing Abercrombie jeans. I did not want a Toyota car. I wanted a Lexus car. Why is that so prestigious of me or whatever? I mean, I did pay for half my car, so like there's that. The reason why this is so important to me is because 60% of millennials are actually stressed about their finances weekly. Watching my parents struggle with money, whether they talked about it or not, I never want to be in that position because I just firsthand watched how it affects your relationships with your partner, your kids. I know that's a huge stressor in people's lives and I just want to avoid that. I want to make my life 1% easier by not having money as an issue. I have more money than most people my age. There's that percentage of Nepo trust fund kids. The average 23-year-old. I do go to the grocery store and I don't look at how much things are. I do go out to dinner and I'm not worried that my credit card is gonna bounce. I have that security, which is crazy because I know a lot of people my age don't, and that is such a freeing feeling. I can go anywhere whatever. I can be in any situation and I'm going to be okay. And that's because I built an emergency fund. That's because I'm good with my finances and I know that in a pickle, I'm gonna be fine. And I think that is one of the most important things. People say money doesn't bring happiness. I would differ. I do think money gives you options. As a woman, it is so important. If you're ever in a situation where you need to leave your partner, your car breaks down, you're in the middle of nowhere, no matter what situation you're in, you know that you're going to be fine because you have money, or you're not going to make you go into debt, and you're going to be okay. That in itself is a freeing feeling. I don't think we're all bad with money. The system is just built to make us confused, and people really don't talk about it. Whether our parents themselves don't know, or everybody is just too afraid to talk about it, so we just all avoid it, and it's not benefiting any of us. The very first step to getting your finances in order is actually knowing where your money is. Tracking your money is so important. Actually, the first thing I ever did as a kid was categorize my money. I talked about this in another episode. Tracking your money is super important when I finally started to do this, because I was so content with my categories and putting money in a binder. A lot of us go through that phase. Digitalizing it, putting it in Google Sheets. I actually sell a budget tracker now. It's in my link in my bio. If you go to bio sites, the very first thing you'll see, it's not a budget actually, it's just a tracker of your finances, what you're spending, what is coming in, and then it summarizes it for you in the third page. I've been using this since 2020, and it is the best thing I've ever used because it's showing you the history of all your money. I'm going a little sidetracked. Lifestyle inflation. Every time you get a raise, you end up spending more. You move into a bigger apartment, you buy more expensive groceries, you don't have a roommate anymore, you buy a new car. So every time you get a raise, sometimes you're still living paycheck to paycheck because you're spending more money and you're not saving any of it. So what I like to do at the end of the year of tracking my expenses and my income, I like to look at my percent I saved that year. And then I'll compare it to the years before, and I try to keep it not increasing. I try to either keep it the same or better. And that's how I know that I'm not having lifestyle creep. So a lot of people looking at their money is scary, but I need you to just get over it, because that fear is keeping you living to paycheck. Just the avoidance is really bad. There's nothing wrong. Just check your statement. Try not to add a feeling to it. It's going to be okay. If anything, you're going to appreciate yourself getting over this fear now than in a few years. What I want you to do, either buy the budget tracker that I have, or you're going to create your own, or use an app or something, and you're going to write down every single category that you spend money. You're going to go through every single credit card, debit card, Venmo, Amazon, Target. You're going to go through all the apps that you spend money through, and you're going to categorize every single purchase, whether it's your $5 coffee, your $200 subscription to something. You're going to write it all down. The other side is you're going to write down all the income you made that month. There's apps like Mint will do it for you. I personally like doing it in a sheet because it won't get anything wrong. I just find it easier to keep track of everything. People who track their spending are 50% more likely to actually save. If you want to be a part of that 50% of people that save consistently, first thing you gotta do is just track your spending. That's all you have to do. What I love about tracking my spending too is I don't budget. So I'm not being like, oh, you can only spend $200 here or $300 here. I'm just looking at it and being like, oh wow, I spent a lot more money on eating out or groceries or gas this month than I normally would, because after you do this for a few months, you see your habits, and I just will highlight green if I did better this month, or I'll highlight red being like, yo, chill down. The next month, I will then remember every time I go to swipe my credit card, be like, oh wait, I said I was going to be better about shopping, so I'm not going to go shopping as much this month. It just keeps me a little bit more conscious when I'm making financial decisions. At the end of the month, I want to go through my spending and be proud of myself and get that dopamine hit of like, oh my God, I did better. I'm competing with myself. So I want you to be honest with yourself. How many subscriptions do you actually have that you need or use? I got rid of my Hatch alarm clock subscription because it felt stupid to me. Why am I paying $6 a month for an alarm clock? I was really pissed at them. I not only bought a super expensive alarm clock, but I had to keep a subscription. So I ended up getting rid of it. How much do you spend on going out to eat every month? How much do you spend on clothes? What is actually important to you? Do you actually love fashion and going out to eat with your friends and the subscriptions you have? If you do, it's fine, keep it. But if that's not something you value, if you value travel, travel or your pets or reading more, make sure you're actually spending money on the things you value. Now let's go into the mindset shift of tracking your spending, because this is why I don't like budgeting. I think budgeting is restrictive and makes you get anxious. And then if you already spend more, like, why not just spend more? If you already blew through your budget, why not just spend more? What difference is it gonna make? That's a toxic mindset. So I think tracking is a choice. You get to choose where your money is going and when. That is a much healthier mindset to myself. I value my dog, travel, and wellness. I want you to start super small. Try to save $20 this next week. Figure out where that $20 can come from. Do you drink coffee out every single day? Can you cut that down to 2 or 3 times this week and you just save, if a coffee's $7, can you cut off 3 coffees that week and make it at home? But obviously coffee's not gonna bring yourself to wealth, but we want to start small so it's manageable. We're not gonna become millionaires overnight. Is there a subscription that you're not using that you're just paying for every single month and you just forgot about it? But if you tracked it, you would see, oh, I don't even use that anymore. So go into your Apple, go into your settings, look at your subscriptions that you have, check that, because I always find something. Oh, another hack is to have your credit card, your utilities, your rent, everything automated. Make your life easier. Make yourself have one less decision to make. Don't get an overdraft fee because you just forgot to pay your credit card off. That sucks. Don't get a late fee on paying rent because you could have just set that up automatic. Even this can go to investing too. If you just forget to invest, have an automated payment of $100, $200, whatever you can afford to put away every single month, automate that. Even though I haven't really invested much into the stock market this year with my Robinhood account, I'm automatically in the 401k account with work. They do a percent match with every single paycheck. I don't even know that it's getting taken out of my paycheck. It's just that's what comes to my bank account. It's already getting invested for me and I don't have to worry about it. So if you can do something like that, do it. Here are some quick to-dos I have for you, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you feel like you can't start investing now or you really need all that money that's in your account. Go through your subscriptions and cancel one subscription that you don't need. I recently heard from a friend's boyfriend that he had like 4 gym memberships. Nobody needs more than 1 gym membership. Find a gym that has everything that you're looking for and keep one. We need to be better with our spending. It's not cool to be a shopaholic. It's not cool to waste all your money. It is cool to be saving and investing and becoming financially literate. That is hot, sexy, and interesting. Somebody wants to talk to you if you are educated. Second one, meal prep this week. Figure out a time where you're usually like, oh, I'm so tired. I just want to go pick up fast food. Is it usually on Mondays or is it Fridays? Like, when in the week do you usually not have a lot of food in your fridge or you're too lazy to make food and you usually go out to eat? Remember that and actually meal prep ahead of time that week and save yourself a $25 meal. Another win for yourself could be just tracking your spending that month. I don't like to do it more than a month. I used to do it like every week or bi-weekly, but then sometimes I get lost in the transactions because sometimes they're pending. So I just prefer to do it just every month. If you can't cut down on a certain cost or meal prep, just track your spending and see where it is. That in itself is a huge win. So I want you to think about what is something you're spending money on that can go into your savings. I have a friend who actually thinks about spending money on something, let's say a dress, and then she's like, nope, I don't need to buy anything, and she'll put that money into her savings. It's not a bad idea. Technically, you didn't need to buy that, so why not just put it into your savings? And it's going to compound and make you more money, where that dress is going to make you lose money because you're just going to get rid of it after a couple years. This step 1 of finances and becoming hotter, richer, and smarter is just awareness of where your money is coming in and going and how can we be better with it. Can you talk to your friends about this? Can you just open yourself up a little bit and give yourself less shame and just be proud of where you're starting? Because awareness is the first step. Next time, we're going to talk about building an emergency fund and starting a saving system. If you are interested in personal finance, I highly recommend you subscribe and you follow along. And I definitely recommend you go subscribe to the Substack and my TikTok and my Instagram. Like, I've been talking about this literally everywhere. An update was I had an exclusive article or interview article with People Magazine about my 100K savings goal. When I tell you I've been posting about this like nonstop, I have, because I think I have 2 passions in life, and one of them is empowering women to save and make more money and just become become financially literate. And the other one obviously is health and wellness and helping people feel better. And also I launched Rooted. Not sure if I ever said that in a previous episode, but I launched my non-toxic consulting company. So that's off topic. The whole point of this is I think you can save even if you're not making a lot of money, and we can all do this together. So if you have any questions or you want me to cover a certain topic or question, DM me. I definitely think we can figure this out together. I will make a whole episode about whatever question you have. I'll make a Substack post about it. That's been really fun. I've been going through all the questions people ask me, and I've just been writing full-on blogs about it because I'm like, okay, if one person has this question, definitely more than 2 or 3 people at least have that question too. So let's just share the knowledge. That is all I have for you. It was a pretty quick and easy episode. I think I need to get myself more into the habit of recording, editing, publishing again because I was so on top of it for the longest time. I actually just got really into YouTube. At least I wasn't being uncreative. I actually have been in a mindset of creating more than consuming because I think it's really easy to scroll on your phone. But at a certain point, I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm not remembering most of the stuff I'm viewing. I don't like most of the stuff I'm viewing. So let's start creating and changing my life. Thank you so much for listening. Sorry I was gone for so long. I hope everybody who loved the podcast is not gone anymore. What's crazy about not posting was I still considered myself a podcaster. Every time I'd meet like a new person, it's still in my bio. It's still something I hold deeply to my heart, even though I hadn't done it for months at a time. So I feel like even when I get in and out of a rut, I still consider myself a podcaster. I still hold my perspectives so close to my heart, and I don't think I ever want to give it up. So it's weird how you can let something go for a while, but it's still a part of you. I don't know the science behind that, but I guess that just means that I really love the podcast and I don't feel like I'm getting rid of it anytime soon. If anything, sorry guys, I'm just like rambling at this point. I stopped the podcast for a while because I wasn't changing, I wasn't evolving, I wasn't learning anything new, so I had nothing to share. I felt pretty stagnant in life. Since the podcast since I took a break, I have so much to share, so much I feel like has changed. Like I had the People article, I switched my content to personal finance even though I've loved it so much. I launched Rooted. Actually, so many of my friends have moved, so I'm back into the transition of trying to make friends again. Launched the Substack. I moved again. Me and Max are moving in together. A lot I have to share, and I want to have guests on. That was always my intention last year, was to have a ton of guests, or maybe that was this year. No, that was last year. Still my intention, but I was like, I can't just have a guest on. I haven't been on the podcast in months. It has to be me. The podcast is me. I'm back. I'm here. Sorry, guys. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'm really excited to chat more. Feel free to let me know what you guys want me to cover. Bye.